Leadership lessons from a very great visionary, VGV, a special tribute video by me. This video is a tribute to late Sri Vijay G Vincurkar from L&T, the most inspirational leader with whom I was fortunate to live with. He left us on 5th September 2022, ideally on Teachers' Day, as a great teacher for many leaders whom he created. But importantly, this video is an extract of the critical leadership lessons that he has left behind for us to feel and follow.
Hello, I am very happy and proud to share my personal experience with VGV, especially with respect to his leadership skills. I had worked with several leaders in my career, and VGV will always remain special. You will know the reasons at the end of this video. In our lives, there will be a few people who will be moving along with us in our professional and personal pursuits, understanding us and guiding us. For me, I was lucky. One of my business leaders, VGV, was one such individual who was always following me and helping me in my career. Let us together enjoy the different lessons that I learned from VGV as a leader.
Lesson 1. Visionary leaders almost always talk only about future. They do not harp on the laurels or sulk on the failures from the past.
My first interaction with VGV was in the technical interview that he did directly with me. It was first of its experience for me because in the entire 40 minutes that the interview was held, VGV spent only 10 minutes checking about my past experience and skills. 30 minutes he was always talking about what I'll be doing in the new organization, who are all the clients with whom I work, what are all the business opportunities that we are going to take up, and what are all the geographies where I could possibly be required to travel, and so on. It was very exciting, and at the end of the interview, almost he has hypnotized me into taking up the offer. And only at the end of the interview, I realized that only the process of interview has happened, but he had complete command and conviction in what he wanted to tell to the candidate. This was a very unique experience for me, and I heard this from a lot of lateral hires as well as freshers who personally picked from top universities in the country. VG was very special in the hiring process. VGV had this wonderful habit of getting into the work areas and talking to employees directly almost every day. He will pick people of his choice and he will talk to them about their work and what they are doing currently and so on. But he will spend a lot of time telling them about what will be the new projects that are expected to come in the organization, what will be their role in these new projects, and what are the opportunities that they are going to work in future, and what are the opportunities for them to travel abroad soon, and so on. So it creates a lot of positive energy in employees, and at the end of every conversation he will ask, do you have a passport and are you willing to travel to a customer site to support our next project? So normally what happens is every employee who is, if like an electron in the ground state, it will always reach the next high energy state, and every employee who interacted with him would have faced this movement from the ground state to the higher energy excitation state, and there is no exclusion. Even I felt it a lot of times, and he made sure that his visit across the team, it energizes all the employees in the floor.
Lesson 2. Visionary leaders take special effort in reinforcing the importance of every employee directly in their conversations.
VGV's attitude to take care of employees was very well evident for me even on the first day of my employment. The first hour after I joined, I was able to meet him after all his meetings. He was able to meet me, and he was very happy that I joined, and he asked me where I'm going to stay, and I told that I'm looking for accommodation. So in a minute he called the then estate and establishment department, and he told a sentence which pushed me completely out of the orbit if I'm an electron. He was just telling to the department that a very important employee has joined our organization today, and you have to show him at least 8 houses from the list that we have with our organization, and I want to report by the next day that he has got the accommodation of his choice. So at this time, probably I was several levels below him in the organization, probably just 2 levels above a fresher, and these sort of statements from him to another management team were highly motivating to me. These sort of statements he was making all the while in my career when I was working with him. Another example was when I was actually leaving from one of the branch offices to the other branch offices. We had a handover meeting before my transfer from a particular office to another office, and the management team was there. The management team in the current branch and the management team in the new branch were there, and he was directly indicating to them, it was a direct statement that he made, that I'm cutting my right hand and giving to you. I hope that you will take care of it properly. These were exactly the words that VGV told when we had this meeting before my transfer. And he met my father once, and he told a very similar statement to my father, where he told, we will take care of your son completely, and you please take care of your daughters and get them settled very well. We will take care of your son's career. These sort of personal statements from a top leader in an organization, they really create a very high level of positive energy with the employees, and VGV was doing this time and again.
Lesson 3. Visionary leaders demonstrate trust in their employees again and again and again.
Trust is a very important factor in a healthy organization, and VGV demonstrated again and again he trusted his people. He is a very rare leader who was with the employees during the thick and thin of the career. I would like to get back to 2 incidents where I was astonished by the trust that he had with the employees. One was I was handling a project. He was a project manager for a project with a team of around 25 engineers, and we were working on a huge project, and it had very good customer base, and we had a very good confidence with the customer, and the project was running for many months. And suddenly on one Friday, there was a communication from the client that all the work that is done in the project needs to be stopped immediately, and there was no reason attributed, and they told that maybe by Monday morning whatever deliverables were there until that stage, it has to be shared with them and it has to be closed. So there was a lot of anxiety. I was handling a team, and then we were all feeling bad, and we just called me and told that do not worry. He just asked me one question: are you absolutely sure that in terms of quality and delivery there is no issue from our side? Absolutely no issue. He just wanted to make sure of that, and I assured him, yes, for sure from our side there is no issue of delivery and quality. Then he asked me that what best we could do in this project before Monday morning, some value addition, something that could impress the customer in the delivery that we are going to close by Monday. Whatever we could do, he asked us to complete by Monday. And I was a little anxious, and that weekend was a little tough. We all worked very hard to do whatever we could do by that time. And Monday evening, which is Monday morning in the US time, when we came back, we completed everything. He immediately told me, Karthik, don't worry. I have moved you to another project where you will be managing that project, and there will be a set of people for that. And when I asked him about the set of people in the current project which I was handling, he told there is nothing to worry. They will all be reallocated, they will be managed. You have a new project, you just manage it. A very, very difficult situation for those 2 days was handled very, very easily by VGV, and this just shows how he trusted the employees. The second example, the same client who stopped this project, he actually gave a reply on Monday, the previous example that I told you, that there was no issue in terms of delivery and quality. It was purely a budget issue in the US, and then because of that we had to stop the work. It was mainly a cost issue coming from their side. So, the same client, they came up with a very, very big project that we had to work, and again for several months, but more number of people and so on. And VGV had actually introduced me as a single point contact with the client, and we had to support this client in the estimation and execution. So the normal process was when the client raises purchase order, it will be normally in the name of the company and the name of the legal signing authority, which was VGV in that case. And due to some excitement, when I was working with the client and I was giving all the quotations and everything, so by some means the client probably misunderstood that I am the single point of communication, also the legal authority. So what they did is, when they made the order with my name and the organization name. And I really didn't notice it, but some of my colleagues who were around, they told me this is very difficult and it's going to be a problem, and maybe the management could misunderstand that I'm trying to take over things which I'm not supposed to do, and so on. And suddenly they raised the redness of the issue, which probably was not that much, but they raised like that, and I was also a little apprehensive. And I got a call from VGV from his cabin that I need to come to the senior vice president's cabin, which was actually his boss, senior vice president's cabin. And I was a little nervous. I thought that the bashing was supposed to be from VGV, but I thought that probably somebody above him also wanted to do something with me. So when I reached there, VGV was all there, and he was telling me to his senior that, sir, Karthik did complete marketing, sales, technical proposal, and he will also handle project execution for this project. We at this time we don't have a sales contact in the Texas area in the US, and he completely managed on his own, and this order had been won exclusively because of him. Very, very difficult situation to express. Trust is very important in an organization, and he again demonstrated that he values that.
Lesson 4. Visionary leaders try to develop a personal rapport in every business opportunity and develop a business opportunity with every personal rapport.
Personal rapport is one of the important characteristics of VGV. He will go to any extent to develop personal rapport with me. My father was actually working in oil and gas industry, and he was heading materials there, and he wanted to see what I'm doing really in my organization. But unfortunately, the organization's rules and conditions, they don't approve of unauthorized people or people not related to business visiting the organization and seeing things around. This was not allowed. So I told my father this is not possible, but he told, possible you try. I want to really see what you guys are doing in this generation, really with respect to design and so on. So I had the guts to go to VGV and ask him that my father is asking ladies what to do. He told, no, sorry, this is not possible, because the rules on who should enter the organization and not is decided already, and there is no relaxation on this for anyone. So for a couple of days I was quiet. I really didn't feel disappointed. My father was disappointed. So after a couple of days, VGV called me and told that, I understood that your father is working and handling the materials in oil and gas industry. So at that time we were handling a specific vertical, which was asset information management system. And he told that why don't your father express what the activities in his organization. Probably in that case we'll be able to show him where all we could support him, and I could make it as in an official visit. So you won't believe that he organized a formal walkthrough for my father as a senior employee from an oil and gas organization, and not only that, he was able to see all the activities that we could do in our organization. My father was very, very happy, and he felt very excited, like several other employees that I told earlier. My father got very excited, And I left home a little late that day, and when I met my father, he was just telling me that don't leave this organization, and at least don't leave until VGV is there in this organization. So that was very touching. VGV developed personal rapport not only with employees but even with their close relatives. And you won't believe he took special effort to call me in a landline in my marriage hall and wish me on my marriage, telling me it was sorry that he could not travel all the way to Chennai for my marriage. And then you won't believe, on the next Sunday after my marriage, he just called me in the morning and asked that whether I'm there at home, whether my wife is there at home and my parents are there at home. I told yes. He told that I'm at Chennai airport and I have come one day early on my business trip. It's a Sunday and I could come to your home and meet you guys and wish you physically and go there. I'll feel very happy about this. We were very excited. We called him, he came home, he took a little food with us, sweets, and then wished us. He talked about my wife and what she could do in future and things like that, and then left off. Again, a lot of effort on personal rapport, and then that's really great. Not only with employees, I know very well that VGV knew every business leader from our clients personally. See, it was not only about them and what they are capable of, what is their responsibility and authority in the organization, but personally he knew them. So he knew about their families and what they are doing and so on. So whenever I met these business leaders anywhere when I was in the US, they used to first ask personally about VGV and then about the organization and many things. And they used to always tell him that VGV is a wonderful human being and he is a very good salesman and so on. It was very exciting to hear that he respected personal rapport with everyone around.
Lesson 5. Visionary leaders ensure that all their actions appear fair and do not discriminate employees based on any criteria.
VGV was very particular in ensuring that the actions of management always appeared fair and just. Very, very important and a rare characteristic that I see today. I was handling a project of around 25-30 engineers as a project manager and doing quite a long project. And then we were roughly around 2 to 3 months away from the end of the project. And one of the very senior management guys in our organization was handling a much larger vertical. He was a star performer and biggest revenue earner in the organization. He wanted to pull 3 or 4 engineers from my project immediately into his project because of the urgency and so on. He talked with those guys directly and he asked them to move quickly. He probably didn't tell me directly and probably thought things will be moving after that. And I was a little upset because the engineers were confused on what to do. Should they continue the next 3 months with my project which is still going on, or should they move to a new project? Because quite a senior guy asked them to move. So as usual, I first talked with the senior management. He told nothing, and it's not a problem. My project is a very big project. We need hundreds of people. You need only 25-30 people. So we manage 3 people less. That's not a problem for you. For me, it's important. So then I had to go to VGV, and I was a little surprised in this case. VGV knew very well I was a manager of a very, very small project, and he was supposed to handle this situation with another very big, a very senior individual in the organization who is much more important, a much higher revenue earner for the organization and so on. But when he organized the meeting, he demonstrated fairness and justice in the discussion. He very clearly told the process in the organization is to discuss together, make a plan of transition of moving people from one place to another. If needed, take some temporary guys for 2-3 months and manage the projects, both these projects very well. So it was a very harmonious discussion. It was a win-win situation for both of us. I instead of giving 3, I gave 1 resource, and 2 resources we managed with some common pool resources and so on. And VGV ensured that a very what could have become tough for Red, he managed it in a very, very cool way, and he ensured that both of us are happy. For me, the most important learning is fair and just. He did not discriminate leaders and teams based on sizes. This is a very important characteristic I learned from VGV.
Lesson 6. Visionary leaders are fearless as they can predict the risks and opportunities much more accurately and manage them.
You cannot imagine another leader other than VGV who could manage risks and opportunities very well. He was excellent. He had this unique ability, which I didn't find with many people, where he could predict what will work and what will not work, which clients will work, which clients will not work, which businesses will be successful in long term or not. He had this unique ability. I do not know where did he get it and how he was able to reproduce this time and again. This was very, very difficult. VGV taught us that to avoid risks and also to get opportunities continuously, he asked us to make very detailed quotations with very, very minute details and not to miss anything at all. And I found that he was very successful in getting continuous business because our quotations were very, very transparent and our clients were very happy. There were many cases where we could have got a project partially instead of getting fully, but that is because of the detailed documentation that we gave to the client. Had we not given a detailed documentation, only a summary documentation, we wouldn't have got any business. But he was very particular that the relationship with the client is important and he wanted to take every opportunity that comes in our way. And again, he took calculated risks and he supported those risks all along. So there was one case before 19 years when we had an opportunity to get a very big business from a client in the US. But what the client wanted is, he wanted to develop concepts in India and we need to demonstrate those concepts will work by making prototypes of specific unique materials and testing them in India. So this was not very common those days and this was unique, and he asked me, should we take this risk? I told it will be good. Then we took this risk, roughly 6 months of testing continuously we did, and with using the local suppliers who could create fixtures and test jigs and so on, and we did it successfully, and then we got that big order. It was very rare those days that leaders were willing to take a risk of doing testing for 6 months when a real project wasn't really there. And I think this is one example where I would say that he took calculated risk, which always resulted in good results. So this is something that was very unique with VGV.
Lesson 7. Visionary leaders are very particular about diverse workforce.
See, at the organization, we had a culture of diversity long before, I would say many years even before I joined. But VGV was very, very particular in ensuring that it was meticulously followed. We had people from Kashmir to the south in our teams, and we also had people from Gujarat to West Bengal, Assam in our team. So it was really a national team. Okay, and while organizations today struggle to keep 10% of their staff as female staff, VGV achieved exceptional diversity with respect to female staff 20 years ago. What he did is, even though we had a more mechanical and general type of engineering services, he took women's engineers from industrial engineering, production engineering, not only mechanical engineering, automobile engineering, instrumentation and control engineering, aerospace engineering, and so on. Wherever they could grow from their basic degrees, he brought them into the organization and ensured diversity was respected, and he meticulously followed it. And he personally picked people to achieve these things. And what it has done eventually is, today a lot of my friends are from Jharkhand, Bihar, Bengal, Gujarat, Maharashtra, and also a little bit from South. But this way, a lot of our colleagues had friends from different regions, and thanks to VGV for that.
It was very shocking to know the sad news of VGV. He was the person who flourished many lives who came in contact with him. He had that Midas touch which turned many lives into gold. I am Kedar Kulkarni, one of such lives who came in contact with VGV in the walk-in interview at Pune in 2001. I could hardly dream my professional career so far without VGV's help and support in my budding years. I cannot forget his personal care and affection towards a newcomer like me. He was passionate, hardworking, and had a very unique style of making friends. His tremendous efforts to grow a sapling of L&T engineering solutions at Baroda has now grown into a massive tree, benefiting uncountable lives. We will be missed for his huge contribution to the India's biggest conglomerate L&T, and will remain as an inspiration for many business leaders in L&T and outside L&T also. I pray Almighty that the departed soul find peace and also impart enough strength to the Vincurkar family. Om Shanti.
Hello all, my name is Pankaj Beru. When I heard about Vincurkar's demise, it was really shocking news for me. It reminded me those days when I worked with L&T. Whenever I used to approach Vincurkar sir, I used to always impress with his positive approach. He has given me lot many opportunity to excel in my career. God may rest his soul in peace. Om Shanti.
Hello everyone, this is Amikar. 7th September 2022, a sad news struck our day, and the news was VGV sir was no more. The end of a great leader, a great visionary, and a great mentor. And I cannot forget VGV sir because he was the one who interviewed me during the campus interview, and my professional journey started. Isn't it surprising that head of the institution is going for campus interview? And this speaks high about his leadership quality. And there are many leadership qualities about VGV sir which could be imbibed by many of us. One very prominent thing which comes to my mind, there could be a lot of qualities about him, but a very unique quality which comes to my mind is that he was the one who used to remember everyone in his organization by his name. And this is one of the unique things which can motivate the people around him to bring out their best. He believed in building his team, he believed in building his organization, he believed in nurturing the leaders around him, and that makes him successful as a leader. VGV sir was one and only. Never again. My heartfelt condolence to VGV sir. Om Shanti. Thank you.
It is almost 13 years after my last professional discussion with VGV while working with him in the same branch or outside the branch where he was working. But he was in continuous touch with me. He will always address me as dear. How are you, dear? Are you taking enough rest? And his aura is still around us, and it will have the effect for several years to come. That was the sort of conviction and confidence that he had in the way he moved with the people. So it's really a great learning for me working with VGV. I hope that some of the lessons that I learned from VGV will also be useful to you if you are a young engineer or you are a business leader, and you will be able to adopt it and implement it with respect to today's work culture and today's generation. Thank you, thanks a lot, and hope to see you in future with some other lessons that I will learn in my life.